Misfits. They have a lot of work to do today if they want to get this back on track and qualify for Worlds. After all, in their last dance, but it's going to be a difficult one. Up against Fnatic, who is now on match point going into this third draft of the day. And as we'll be covering it here on the desk, let's maybe pick up some threads that we laid out in Ready Check. It was mostly about the bot lane meta and how it was going to evolve, right? Nymaera, and that Kalista seems to have really thrown a spanner in the works.
It has, because you have now another champion which doesn't have an easy answer. You don't get to beat Kalista in the laning phase anymore. Maybe in the other seasons you could. Right now, Kalista, you just have to remove it if you can't win through other areas of the map to get that consistent cross map. So you have to remove that. But then actually, what's happening with this Renata now?
Yeah, I think the Renata has a lot of power in itself, and I think that Fnatic kind of found a new pick in the Renata as well. Like, they have the Kalista and the Renata, but now they also just played the Renata by itself, right? So I think Fnatic came with a lot of flexibility into the drafts, more than Misfits, I would say. But we also agreed that Misfits had a pretty good draft, right? So it's kind of like, it just depends on if they feel like some champions are a problem or not. I think they might not think Renata is a problem because they felt like this game was won, but at the same time, it was pretty strong.
Let's see what happens in draft number 3. Well then, will Fnatic just bring this one home? That is the big question. Will Misfits find more solutions? And does it necessarily start in the draft? Because I seem to gather that you were quite okay with the draft they showed in Game 2.
At least it's harder to get much better than that, unless Fnatic are making really egregious errors. I think that Misfits, they should have been able to teamfight their way to that victory. That's going to be the stinging thing for them. They're used to winning games like that in those situations. But as we can see, they are making the adaptation. They're saying, okay, that Renata, maybe we can ban that out of the Kalista-Renata pairing. But if you're not going to ban away that Kalista, there are still lane pairings you can play with it. Nautilus, Amumu, there's options.
Yeah, I think that this kind of says to me that Misfits will just pick jungle early instead of AD carry. I don't feel like they will just give the Kalista with the Zeri on their team. I think that just kind of spells for disaster. So if I'm Misfits in this draft, I would just probably pick my jungle early. Maybe just secure the Trundle for a strong early game. And if they go the Kalista, you might have a different answer into that, right?
Well, you can also try and maybe take the Poppy side of that matchup too, but now you're going to have the threat of having that Poppy being a diving front line into the tank shred of that Trundle, which was the danger last game, even though Razork had a very strong early game. You can see what happened in the late game team fights. That Poppy loses value if you do lock in something that can isolate that front line and tear it down with the Subjugate.
Yeah, Poppy is just also really good into Kalista, right? So they're kind of saying like, here, we have Poppy, do you want to go Kalista? I'll put my W up and you can't team fight, right? So I think that Fnatic might just say, okay guys, screw the Kalista, we'll just play the Zeri or the Sivir instead, and they just go from there. But we'll have to see here on the 2P. I expect that this is the AD carry, so
but now, like of course, they can get their hands on the
They get their choice either way, and now you have the Zeri. You also have the fun little Zeri-Trundle combo where you can fire your W at the Trundle pillar to get the big extendo beam.
Oh!
It's terrain, right? So
yeah.
Just a little kind of optimization on that. Yeah, well, so you do when it hits you. That's a bad part.
I think Misfits here should just lock in Sivir and probably their support as well. And if they really want a top laner here to match, they could also do that. I mean, the Ornn has been pretty solid in the series, right? Just a big meat brick for Zeri to hit. I think that makes a lot of sense.
What do you guys make of kind of Zeri and what she needs to be paired with? Because I feel like obviously it changes a lot in terms of the pairing, right? But is there something she absolutely needs in terms to be able to thrive?
I mean, she likes having enchanters, right? But I think almost all of them are banned out now. So, and I don't think Hylissang will play something like Karma. So I think they'll just play more of a skirmish comp with like a melee support for Hylissang. You might play Rakan as well. I think it looks pretty decent in this game. I mean, it's not the best against Poppy, but against Sivir and Ornn, I think it creates a big barrier for the Zeri to fight in at least. And I think they might look for something like that.
But you're having some serious engage concerns now because Trundle, Gwen, Zeri, they are all very good at running down targets, but they have nothing to set up for them right now. You're not going to have yourself you know, an Enchanter, or even if you switched around the AD carries, right, the Sivir would have helped those targets be enabled, right? The Trundle and the Gwen get the move speed to run into the play. So Fnatic, they need to have something which just enables the rest of these carries now. I think this does open Rakan, maybe a Nautilus. You can lock in a couple of things here. Yeah, I'm also interested to see what Humanoid will pick in mid lane here, because I think it has to be some type of skirmish-heavy mid laner, but I don't see a lot of those open. So I think just picking the Nautilus and just saying we need some engage, it makes a lot of sense, and I would probably go for the same if I was Fnatic here. And we were wondering about this just before we came live into the draft as well, because we were wondering about the Renata. If the Renata's banned, do you get Hilly back on melee supports, back onto the engages? Because I think it's fair to say, Hilly, though he's filled the role within the team with Nami tidal waves, with that Renata, he is such a magician when it comes to these heavy engage picks.
He plays an aggressive Nami.
Yeah, he does, yeah. I mean, I think here Mersa has a lot of options for support. He could play any melee support he wants, to be honest. He could play Rakan, Leona, Alistar. I think all are good. I mean, he locks in the Leona. I think that makes sense. I'm also interested, I think mid matchup this game is gonna be the most interesting, because a lot of things are banned, like the Talia, the Sylas, the Ari.
Digging deep at this point, yeah.
So I think maybe Vetheo just goes to comfort and maybe goes something like the Zoe. I'm not sure if it's the best line here for him, but I am struggling to see other champs that he would play here. What do you think, Nymaera?
Well, with that Talia band, you don't get the ability to zone control quite as much, but you are looking for something a little bit more long range, right? So it's going to be that Corki. The Corki's locked in, but the thing with this is, like, it's great if you get to the late game. Let's see if you can actually impact the game up until that point.
Yeah, I mean, I really like if they go Orianna here. I think it kind of cements their comp as being front to back, helping upset on the Zeri, right? I think they just have kind of a cookie cutter comp here with some front line, some back line, some engage, some CC. I think the Fnatic comp is very, very well rounded here. But you are pretty heavily outranged with the chance of Ornn ult and Leona ult kind of stopping you from playing at that range. Yeah, Shockwave going to have huge value, but Fnatic are now hugely relying on Hylissang to find the target. If he doesn't do that and they get to sit at this range, I think they're going to be the ones getting picked off. Yeah, I think this game will come down to the spacing that we talked about before, right, in the team fights. Both teams have a lot of engaged options and a lot of beefy frontline, so whichever team spaces better and hits their CC first kind of wins this dance. And I think that, in general, if I was Fnatic, I would feel a bit more confident, I think. Hylissang has a lot of engaged targets, a lot of people to hit with his hook, and same goes for Razork, right? This ult will be key in these team fights.
When it comes to Misfits and the fact they're on the back foot, do you like the way that they've just drafted a lot of engage for themselves and a go button? And do you think that they'll press it often knowing that they're with their backs against the wall?
Yeah, I mean, they have kind of an Ooga Booga comp, right? Just click R and run forward and hope for best. And I think that it's not bad in a game 3, right? You want to have a simple comp so you can think about other things in the game. And I think that both teams kind of drafted in the way that I was thinking. Just pretty easy front to back comps, and I think both of them have a good chance of winning this game.
Okay, I'm trying to read some of the signs. There's some cool Photoshop edits there, and there. We love Hilly, of course, but of course the Misfits fans do not want to see the bunnies go home yet. Hope they have more in their tank, or maybe this will be the end of the line. We're in for a lot of team fights once again in Game 3. Will Fnatic go to Worlds? Let's find out right now.
Hi. We were waiting. It was dramatic silence. Build things up. Tension. Now you can see us. Less suspenseful, to be completely honest. And we're in an interesting position now in this series because Fnatic have won every single early game, and despite that, Misfits felt like they were on the cusp of victory in the previous game, weathering that early lead, and mid-game lead, and most of the game lead, to be quite honest. But now again, we have to see if Fnatic can repeat it for the third time and dominate here in the early game.
But this could also be a bit of a bittersweet moment, you know, because this could very well be Misfits' last game as an organization here in Europe. They will not be joining us next year in the LEC. They will be replaced by Heretics. And, you know, I think a lot of us want to see Misfits have that strong last stand. Last game was a great flash in already for Neon.
Neon now forced away. Hylissang, aggressive use of the early summoners. It's going to be big if any jungle follow-up comes through. Razork could start to push down to bot side.
Yeah, Hilly just wants to get the flash for flash trade again, but I think you're completely right, Vedius. It would be a shame to see them go on a 0-3. Hopefully they've got a little bit of fighting spirit left in them. That last game would take a toll on a lot of players' mental when you have such a game in your hands, Infernal Soul, and you just split up too much. Humanoid finds a flank on your striker and the game ends just like that in the snap of a finger. And now it's just a contested bot push in this game 3. See if Misfits can pull it back.
Every game they play for the rest of today could very well be their last. A lot of pressure on their shoulders, but again, hope that the players can rally, show a final clean performance here. Mersa hooked out, has the Q start, but doesn't even get a chance to use it.
You know, we talk about the bittersweet moment for Misfits, but for Fnatic, like, this bot lane is just locked in today. Their 2v2 performance has been absolutely stellar. You know, we like to joke about Hylissang's flashes, but he has gotten a lot of value every time his flash is on cooldown. Neon's has often been on cooldown as well. And this bot lane, they want to go to Worlds. It was a struggle for Fnatic last year, let's not forget. There were a lot of complications with the roster, and they weren't able to showcase their best kind of form. And I'm sure that for many of these players, they want another opportunity to represent Europe on the international stage.
And struggles this season as well, let's be clear. It wasn't the smoothest sailing getting here, 5th place coming in the playoffs rather. Very, very difficult, losing the tiebreaker to Misfits, but now here in the best of 5, absolutely dominating. Remember the history, the pedigree of this organization, part of the reason that it never feels like we can 100% count them out. Countless appearances across countless international championships will hold that thought. The dive could be coming through. Zanzarah ready this time around. Fnatic maybe just going to look for the disengage here as Hylissang is on the way out. Hylissang no flash, but it might not matter because Razork's already been caught out, forced to flash away to safety. Now it's Zanzarah who has the phase rush, running him down, but will be forced to back off. Hylissang and Upsetter in the area.
Good move there by Upset and Hilly to cut off any chase from the bot lane of Misfits. Mersa had flash. If they could slow him down with red buff a bit. For Zanzarah's E again, Razork would die, but he loses his flash. Neon's flash was down, of course. He used the ghost there too. And it would be a very odd, just to reiterate your point there Drakos, with Fnatic making so many worlds, it would be very odd to not see players like Wunder and Hylissang at a World Championship representing Europe right now. One more game is all it takes. And Fnatic are off to a small gold lead in its early stages. Top will win in isolation. Bot lane now ahead after that threatened dive. Mid lane, definitely Orianna favored in the early stages because of the range. Razork's going to contest his top grab. Zanzarah has smite though.
Moving in.
Will smite it away.
Going to zoom his way out of here again, taking phase rush because he knows he does not win in the extended trades versus Trundle. So just proc 3 abilities real quick and zoom on out.
He got what he wanted, which was that Scuttle Crab. And Fnatic, they find themselves in a good spot. Not the same sort of advantage that they found themselves in game 1. But when you look at Misfits comp, it is very much about scaling. Very similar to last game. They're not trying to go toe-to-toe with Fnatic in the early game. They're just trying to mitigate the advantages that they can build and come into the mid-game even, or maybe even ahead.
And we saw Vetheo pull out his Corki, I believe it was game 4 against G2 when their backs were against the wall. Unfortunately, didn't get them across that finish line or towards a game 5. He had a very difficult package into the rest of the enemy team, struggled, fell, and it never really came online as much as they would want it. That was G2 running a very early game-centric comp with Renekton mid. This time around, Fnatic's early game is not as strong. They can't really blow the game open, so it'll give it a little bit more time to Vetheo to look for that scaling.
But the good news for Fnatic is one area where they are clearly much stronger in the early game, and will continue to be strong, is on the top side of the map. Ornn can offer a lot more in the team fights, no doubt, obviously the power of that champion. But right now, Wunder dominating an individual 1v1, 400 gold lead just from CSing. Irrelevant going to be forced to TP back here to catch this wave. We'll see if Wunder is forced to do the same to keep the pressure up.
Keep my eyes on what's going on in the map. Right now, nothing too much. 5 minutes in, nothing too chaotic. Small gold leads across the board for Fnatic, but nothing too significant. And like the Analyst has summarized it, it's pretty much 2 of the same comps going up against each other with slight differences. Yeah. Both want a team fight, both have good scaling. A lot of it's going to come down to execution. The biggest variable in all of this is Wunder versus Irrelevant. That frontline tank versus the hard carry of Gwen.
Might be a bit of bot contest here. Razork's going to blast one over. They want to crash this wave here. Neon's flash is up.
Neon.
Good spell shield.
Excellent spell shield there. So it's just going to walk away here. Both junglers here on the bottom side of the map. Vetheo now caught back the shock blade. Level advantage for Humanoid, and he's going to push that advantage. Now moving this way forward.
Difficult lane matchups across the board, really, if you think about it. Orianna just outranges the Corki so much more. And when he gets the rockets on 6, he can farm from distance, but Humanoid will always dictate this laning phase. Top lane similarly for Wunder. That allows Razork to get this early dragon. No mid move and no bot contest because Razork's been sitting on that bot side where the push is contested. Hilly on that engage was actually considering a flash auto attack. You can see his movement. He was posturing for it, but Razork called it off. He wants to get this objective instead, and Hilly will help him do so. So 3 winning lanes right now for Fnatic. Misfits on the back foot.
I keep seeing Hilly be a higher level than his AD carry, and I'm like, what do I keep missing? He's also a higher level than Razork right now, level 5. I feel like he's just been catching these waves, holding the waves for Upset to be able to get those reset windows off. You can see he's sitting on 3 longswords right now, of course.
No. Interestingly, you see, I mean, triple Cole, again, just reinforcing the story we've already been telling in the sense of this is about scaling. This is about going late. But Fnatic, again, keeping up with expectations they've been setting this entire series, winning out in the early game slowly but surely. That's that irrelevant. Whether the Storm to level 6 at least will make dies that much harder if they do want to press this advantage on the top side. And of course for Ornn, you're really just counting the levels until he can start to upgrade his allies' items.
Zanzarah gonna look for something on this top side of the map, maybe try to help Vetheo get a base off because he's struggling against Humanoid, just gonna give him a little bit of a push out. Will show, of course. And the wave will crash. That'll allow Vetheo to take a base. No package for another 3 minutes. I feel like Misfits' bot lane is under so much pressure. They're constantly wondering if they're about to get dove, and Neon has to keep recalling, channeling recalls, gets cancelled by Zeri W's. He's always scared. Mersa's looking for information. Zanzarah's on the way down. They don't know where Razork is, and they're constantly afraid under this tower. One plate's already gone. Fnatic, these 3 lanes becoming dangerous.
Certainly the case. And of course, you highlighted the XP for Hylissang earlier, but just it feels like across the board. You see Fnatic, Humanoid, Wunder both pulling ahead by pretty decent margins here. Wunder going to be almost not quite an entire level up, just a small lead there, but Humanoid very far ahead of Vetheo, upset on the bottom side, decently ahead of Neon, and Hylissang well ahead of Mersa. So something to keep track of, especially as level 6s are going to be crucial in this game as we get a little bit further on.
A slow early game, kind of as we expected. And a reminder once again that both these teams are fighting for a spot at the World Championship. You're granted 4 seeds this year. We already have 3 locked in with G2, Rogue, and Mads. The seeding of all of those teams still yet to be determined. Of course, 1st and 2nd seed will make their way into the group stages. Seeds 3 and 4 will go into the play-ins to start off the tournament. We can see now that the Herald actually being started off by Misfits.
Neon forced a base. He's going to run back to bot. Upset's going to get another plate for himself in isolation, winning out on that 1v1, actually cancelling Neon's base. It's going to be a 4v4 on top side. Misfits need this to go their way so they can help their Sivir back into this game. Fnatic want to contest, but they don't know where Neon is. He's on the way. He's actually not going bot.
The ultimate is going to be really big here, and it looks like Fnatic are actually just going to give this one up.
Lock up onto Hylissang. Hylissang level 6, but he's just such a squishy boy. That's the downside of taking Glacial Augment. No Aftershock means he gets burned down so quickly, and Misfits get a clean Herald.
Misfits break the lane phase as well. I think they're going to keep Neon up here. Irrelevant's channeling his recall. Neon's going to catch the top wave. Upset's already read the play. He's going top to match Neon. He wants to make sure he's in this lane. He doesn't want to lane up against an Ornn. He wants to punish the Sivir, but now it's Misfits. Similar game to game 2 where they have this Herald. Last time we saw them in this situation, they tried to Herald top and they all died for it. Vetheo no mana for W. Has to flash.
Clean. Shockwave not going to connect there at the end. Vetheo able to hold on for now, as you highlighted. Now that he has the rocket, so much easier for him to sit safely in this lane.
So Vetheo will have TP. He should be able to recover mid. Package in 40 seconds. Zanzarah needs to play topside now and help out Neon as much as possible. Upset just being a nuisance again, stopping their bases constantly with that Zeri W.
Yeah, they're just leaving Upset on an island. They're content with him to just keep farming. He's pretty safe in isolation. Neon, he's going to be forced to stick around to catch another wave. Misfits, they really want to get this Herald into Neon's back pocket so that he can get that gold that he's been missing out on. A 20 CS advantage already built up for Upset. We did see early jungle intervention from Razork, but it didn't really result in much. This is just Upset and Hylissang playing the 2v2 so well.
I think 4 plates. This could be the 5th that have fallen so far in favor of Fnatic. None have dropped on their side. 5 plates down, so despite getting 300 local gold from Herald, having it to secure 320 gold minimum, they're still down 1,000 gold on top of the first blood too. And now with that Corki package, we've got a pause.
The Corki was too cute. We'll figure out what the pause is, and of course, again, it's if you feel tension in our voice despite it being an early game where very little has actually happened, it's because there is tension. It's because we're potentially saying goodbye to an org that has been with us for so incredibly long at the end of this game. But for Misfits and Misfits fans, I hope that it's not a funeral that we're witnessing today, but a wake. I hope they can fight back and fire back, maybe even take us to a game 5, but it will be one step at a time. It is a hard road ahead. It's been a hard road all season since the announcement, but Misfits have managed to make it this far. Maybe again, they can surprise expectations.
Yeah, I mean, the Misfits organization, they've done a great job of finding new young players, being able to help them grow, helping them flourish into superstars. You think of some of the players that have existed on Misfits rosters in the past. Names like Alfari, Han Summer. Of course, Paraviva was on a number of teams prior to that, but part of their success. Let's not forget they also brought Cacao back for a while.
Ignar really finding his own.
True. Like, Misfits have had a bunch of iterations, and they've always been able to stand out here in Europe. Let's see if they can make a standout performance here, as they have the right set on Upset.
They're on the aggressive. They have the package on Corki still. They have mid to top. This is the first time we see Misfits walk past the river. They might look for a top dive. They might look for Razork.
Just trying to isolate Razork, trying to burn Razork down and knock him now coming through. Upset waiting over the wall. A bit more poke, a bit more damage. Lock up there. Vetheo now knocked up. Upset standing off to the side. Just free auto attacking. Razork still has not fallen. It's going to be the 1-for-1 of junglers so far, but now Upset is taking over. Upset looking to burn down Neon. Spell Shield comes out. He's not spell shielding anything. On the hunt now used to run away. Fnatic coming out on top in the exchange.
Overforced by Misfits. They thought they got themselves a pick, but that Trundle is so tanky with the smite on Krugs, with the ult. Upset's going to flash over here to make sure they get the kill. Mersa can match though. It looks like he has flash up. We'll see if he wants to use it over the wall here. Upset might have to jump. No, Humanoid's across the wall, so he doesn't want to waste it. He does flash.
Flash out.
Does Upset get the kill anyway? I think he will.
Chasing him down. Upset gets another kill. Devastating for Misfits in the early game. Could not absolutely afford to give those kills over to Zeri.
They saw Razork and they thought that they could kill him fast enough, but with the ultimate and the fact that he smited the Krugs as well, he got so much HP back that Misfits just didn't have the damage to secure that kill, and Upset was left completely untouched. So have a look at this from Razork. Gets the smite off, gets another heal off by getting that kill onto the Krug, and then Upset's left completely untouched to dish out all this damage.
Yeah, and he's zoning away Vetheo, who's trying to use rockets across the wall to make sure that he gets Razork. It's Mersa who gets the kill. Neon flashes out and pops the ult, so Humanoid can't follow through with his own flash. And then we saw Mersa die later on. Now we've got a Herald in mid. We've got Fnatic on Dragon. A little bit of action happening on the map here, but Neon will get some plates.
Important to get that gold from Neon's back pocket. Zanzarah waiting in the area just to threaten a potential steal. Will be picked up by the side of Fnatic, but finally the Herald will crash in the mid lane. Neon looking to make a third plate here. Hylissang on the way up. Mersa maybe hoping to catch him out.
Has the
Not
ult.
enough damage yet without Zanzarah in the area to try to finish this. Neon coming in though might be enough to finish this one. Hylissang trying to retreat back to team. The flash over the wall. Zanzarah keeping these things going. Humanoid in the area. The shield will not be enough. Misfits finding a pick.
Shockwave, 5-second cooldown. Maybe he could have peeled a bit with that, but doesn't have the spell available. Zanzarah just flashes over to make sure the kill happens. And Misfits now with this ultimate from Ornn, they're going to get Humanoid's flash.
Here we go here from Treatz. A little bit of Ooga Booga, and there it is! Surprise! Humanoid now taken out. Misfits finding the pick in mid lane.
2 kills to Neon. 3 plates as well. It looked like a horror after that top fight, but Misfits are still in it.
They certainly are. You can see the goal difference is not that dramatic for Misfits, and this is the sweet spot that they want to be in as they transition into the mid game. Finding a pick onto Humanoid, you could see he wanted to try and flash over that wall to the right of the tower, but it was way too thick. Perhaps if he'd flashed down, but either way, in that situation, it was a difficult one to get out of. 4 members collapsing on you, and Misfits find 2 picks.
So we'll see this again. Mersa just going aggressive onto Hill. He knows he has no flash. Neon pops the ghost, gap closes, doesn't have that much damage, doesn't even have his mythic, but Zanzarah flashes over to make sure the kill happens. Humanoid doesn't have the ult, and then it's Zanzarah on the mini, Irrelevant on the minimap here. You can see him in mid, just gonna pop the ult onto Humanoid. Poor flash by Humanoid, have to criticize that one because he still gets hit by the Ornn ult, but regardless, if he flashes up, he's gonna be in range of Leona E. If he flashes down, he's gonna get chased down by the Poppy around the corner. He's basically dead no matter what.
Well, Upset and the rest of Fnatic, they're trying to keep on the pressure. Still a 1k gold lead, still 2 Drakes in their favor. Misfits firing back. Little signs of hope here. Cole now fully stacked up for Neon. First item coming in as well. 23 creeps left for Vetheo. Hasn't been able to farm maybe as much as he would like in the context of this game.
No, he certainly hasn't, but only 100 gold down for now, and he's going to be able to catch these top waves pretty safely. Misfits have stabilized the game to the point where they have their bot lane mid, which can contest the mid prio and threaten Wunder on side. You can see Wunder will catch these waves and slowly start to back away. But as I say that, Razork's coming down, Zanzarah's going up, so it looks like we might have some cross map going on here where Irrelevant's under threat of a dive, and Humanoid's under threat of being 3-man top, but it looks like Humanoid got the wave already, and Fnatic might just get themselves a free bot tower.
Irrelevant, no ultimate and difficult here. Would love to have that to clear the wave to stop any more pressure from coming out. No plates for Wunder to pick up, but he can't look to break that bot lane tier 1 tower. Misfits now descending on the top side of the map. Humanoid waiting in the brush. Wunder gonna finish that one off. More gold in the back pocket of the Gwen. Big that the Gwen keeps getting these advantages, because we've seen what the Ornn can do. He can drop a wave, he can walk mid, he can force a pick, he can force a play. Wunder doesn't have the luxury. Wunder doesn't have that same CC. Very important for him to push his individual matchup.
Misfits do have control on the top side of the map. Zanzarah will spot out Razork.
Razork knocked to the wall. Mersa debating if he can actually follow up here. Zanzarah caught up by the pillar. This is big. Ulti now coming out. He's gonna try to knock 2 back, but he can only find 1. Gets cut down there. Devastating for the side of Misfits.
Really good pillar there by Razork. You can see Zanzarah was furiously clicking around that pillar to try and force his champ to walk around, but it doesn't look like there was any room for his champion to actually walk around it, so he forced himself upwards into Hylissang, and he falls with Herald up. I think Fnatic should be able to secure that, but it looks like they'll use it as an exit objective for now. Razork wants to contest blue. Humanoid wants to hit this top tier 1.
Razork gonna steal away that blue buff. And now the Herald has been started. Fnatic, I was just about to say that they're not in a great position to contest this, but after finding that pick, and now Mersa's in danger, no flash.
Mersa taking so much damage, there's no tower for him to run to. Lock up onto Humanoid, but surely he'll fall here. 4 members of Fnatic descending on the support of Misfits. And Fnatic again starting to run away with the game, nearly 4K in their favor.
This is all because of Misfits. They overforce top, they give over 2 or 3 kills. They overforce top side again, Zanzarah dies. Now Mersa was trying to make a pick onto Humanoid when he had no business in doing so, and he falls. Now we've got a TP behind from Humanoid. Irrelevant doesn't have a TP of his own. Wunder will chase him down with the Ghost and with the ult. I think he might just be dead.
Big knockup now going to come through, chasing him down. Maybe hoping they can burn his ultimate as well. Clean flash out from Irrelevant. Upset now caught out though. Can he escape?
Upset.
Neon flashing over the wall. Keen to get a little bit more on the hunt. Burn, but Hylissang standing strong, protecting his AD carry. Neon now backing off. Upset, red buff, stacking, fighting, back and forth. The kill traded back. Zanzarah going to get it, but now Zanzarah versus Hylissang. And in the end, who's going to come out on top? Lockdown coming in. Zanzarah burning from
He
Neon.
got the shield.
Flash away. He gets the shield off the buckler. Hylissang on the retreat. TP now coming in. Razork over the wall to find one. Mersa now in no man's land. The rest of the team moving up. Humanoid ready to keep the fight going, but his Vetheo with the package off to the side. He can look to try to finish one, but no, instead forced to retreat. Hylissang in the midst of everybody. He can go unstoppable with the package, but will he have the time? Yes, for now. The red carpet burning, ticking away. He manages to find one kill. Vetheo, hero moment, a chance to perform, a chance to turn things around, but Razork is too tanky. Razork is too strong. Flash over the wall. Vetheo. There's no way out
How
here.
long's his W?
Trying to fish for a kill. Mersa on the way in. Vetheo
he got it.
will get it. The shutdown. A glimmer of hope, massive for the side of Misfits, with Humanoid chasing for more. Shockwave pulled back. Stopwatched. Razork taking the tower. They want to finish this one. Locked up again. Razork,
is he
will
gonna
he get
die?
burned down? Will he get
One
cut
more
down?
hit.
The shield is not enough. Shut down for Mersa.
Great outplays by Misfits to make these even trades across the board. Fnatic would have dominated these fights if it wasn't for the clutch of Vetheo and Mersa responding. The 2v2 not going in their favor. Upset gets the kill. Zanzarah gets a huge shutdown onto Upset though.
So many people died on both sides there, and when you find yourselves at a deficit, this is only good news for Misfits. They want to try and contest this Drake, but it looks like they're going to be forced to back away. Razork is, of course, still dead. Zanzarah does have the smite available, and with his ultimate, I feel like they really could contest this.
Yeah, Vetheo and Mersa coming out of base now. Looks like Misfits just want to catch waves and give this one up. Maybe they don't even know they're on it right now because there's no jungler down there, and now the hook hits onto Zanzarah. Another fight might kick off.
Neon over the wall. Zanzarah getting burned. Zanzarah getting cut down. The Gwen. It just eats him alive. Hylissang getting poked though. Hylissang trying to sidestep. One more rocket. Hylissang's ticking. Gonna try to turn back with the hook. Maybe they can keep the fight going. Mersa, has he overstayed? Because now he leaps face first into Razork, and the Trundle Upset is surely going to burn him down here. That's the Leona gone. Leona off the rip. Razork running forward. Irrelevant. Ready to turn with the ultimate. Can he find it? But it's too little. It is too late. They're getting swept aside. Misfits running for their lives. The Gwen taking over this fight. Humanoid standing behind him. Upset running down the mid lane. The fans in Berlin alive. The fervor of Fnatic taking over the map.
And Fnatic, after struggling in the last fight, completely dominate Misfits on the map. It felt like Misfits were a little indecisive there as to whether they should try and contest the Drake. They ended up getting split apart. And while they do find that initial pick onto Hylissang, Fnatic is very quick to punish the misposition and over-aggression from Misfits.
Zanzarah 2 levels down. We'll find Razork that can't take this fight though. Red buff, level disadvantage. Humanoid's pushed out bot. Just need to catch waves now, Misfits. But we'll look at this one again because it's Hylissang who looks caught to begin with. Zanzarah dies, yes, but it looks like it's just going to be a 1-for-1 and they're out. But it's all of Fnatic collapsing after the Dragon falls. Upset and Humanoid from the bottom side. Razork coming from base. And because it takes so long to kill Hylissang, they're able to regroup Fnatic and turn the fight.
And then look at this engage here from Mersa. So they think that, oh, this is a good position. We can actually continue the fight. He eats in, realizes, oh no, Humanoid gets to collapse first. The Ornn isn't in a position. And then Neon with no flash, he just gets chased down. Irrelevant with the ultimate, can't provide enough peel, and then he gets chased down as well.
I have to say, Razork's pillars this game are amazing. Like, every single one of them is just either hitting a key target. Neon couldn't move in that fight. We saw it against Zanzarah on the top side red, and now it's Fnatic owning the game. Wunder, 3.5k damage in that last fight. Fnatic dominating the top side of the map.
And while Fnatic have had a dominant series as a whole, really feels to me like Wunder, Razork, and Upset, the players that we have to call out. Immaculate across all 3 games thus far. See if they can keep that momentum going. Misfits not out of this yet. They have time to scale for now. But Herald crashing in on the bottom side, a big deal because Razork is absolutely fearless. Look at those tanks just get shredded. Upset once more. Misfits, can they find anything here? Hylissang off to the side. Neon isolated. Neon in the choke, but Wunder can come over the wall in an instant. Neon flash not available. Neon getting run down. Zanzarah wants to peel, but it's not enough. Fnatic merciless here. They do not care if it is Misfits' final game on this stage. They will go for the throat. They will go for the kill. Fnatic looking to make it a fast one.
And they're so close to clutching worlds. This game is in their hands. They're so far ahead. Upset so strong on the Zeri. We see how much value this Trundle provides with the ultimate onto Irrelevant. Absolutely shreds straight through him, and with these death timers, with Zanzarah being dead 15 seconds, Fnatic wants a Baron.
The name Fnatic is synonymous with international competition here in Europe, and they're looking to make their 10th appearance at the World Championship. Fnatic have the Baron in their eyes, only Irrelevant stands in their way, and it will not be enough.
Irrelevant here in the midst of it, he's just going to get torn to pieces. Fnatic happy digging the grave for Misfits in a series that will net them worlds. Vetheo trying to do anything, but it's over. They've broken them, the lead too big. The hope fading as Neon just runs in. Misfits one last desperate fight. 4-second recall timers, but Fnatic ready to turn. Zanzarah going in, knowing this could be their last stand, knowing that this is their last stand. Wunder stepping forward. Not an easy man to lock down. Ignite already ticking. Mersa now going to be in trouble. It's just too easy. They're too far ahead. Neon pushed out of the fight. Mersa running for his life. Zanzarah taken off the map. Hylissang seeing another opportunity for more. Hook goes in. Mersa goes down. Fnatic obliterating Misfits.
Completely one-sided affair. Misfits, they had moments of glory. There were opportunities that were available to them, and Fnatic have shut all of them down. Another tower will fall in the mid lane. Upset is looking for more, but it is just domination from Fnatic as they look to 3-0 Misfits and lock a spot at Worlds.
It was Razork and Vetheo, the mid-jungle of Misfits, who were one game away from Worlds. Now they're on opposite sides of the coin, and it lands on Razork. Looks like this might be a 3-0. Looks like this might be Razork's first appearance at a World Championship alongside these superstars like Wunder and Hilly, who have made World Finals, and Upset so strong now, able to dash into Neon 22 minutes in with this Baron buff. They're sieging the base.
Fearless, Zanzarah off to the side, hoping to get something done.
dead.
But Upset just does so much damage. Burning, cutting him down. Unstoppable. Certainly the case. Oh, a double! He's absolutely slaughtering him. One man versus the world. He doesn't need anybody else. Hylissang there for the hook. Upset fearlessly running forward. He's simply too far damn ahead. Ornn ulti not even gonna matter. Upset.
That's three.
Obliterating Misfits. Feels like almost single-handedly in these final moments.
That's four.
That's
Watching
four.
the light
He wants
die in their eyes.
The unofficial
The
penta.
hook going back. And this is insult to injury.
12-1. Upset wants to go to Worlds this year with this Lusher Fnatic looking incredibly dominant. It's Vetheo, it's Zanzarah. They have a package, but Fnatic gonna pay respect. They don't want to overdive on the fountain. They don't want to get an unofficial penta. They don't want to throw it all away when they're so damn close.
Fnatic have looked completely different from now compared to last week. They have shown a new color, and they have looked to dominate Misfits in this best of 5. With a win here, they will go up against Mad on Sunday. And that competition and that series will be a fight for a spot at Malmö. But Misfits, this is their last hurrah, their last stand, their last chance as Upset just dominates Misfits.
It's a 14,000 gold lead. Upset himself holds 5.5k of that. And Zanzarah, the second the hook hits, he just explodes. And then it's Upset's W here, just snipes off Neon.
What an incredible series from Upset overall. You think about game 1 and his completely dominant performance on the Kalista. He was set up for success and he ran away with the game. Game 2, he made that clutch play on the Sivir. And now game 3 on the Zeri, laughing to himself. He knows this game is over. He knows this game is his. And he knows that he will be returning to Worlds.
It was a 5-game struggle to get them to Worlds last year, knocking out G2, incredibly close series, but this time around, it looks like smooth sailing. Third inhibitor is gonna fall. Misfits have nothing left. They have to defend that inhibitor or it's good as over.
The inhibitor will fall. Fnatic looking to make it a quick goodbye. Send them out of the league, knock them out of the league, make sure that no player plays under this banner again. Fnatic again merciless in their pursuit here. 1 or 2 small questionable plays in this final game. Otherwise, absolute dominance from start to finish. 15k gold lead. Dragon Soul behind them, but they're taking their time. They're not going to risk anything. Zanzarah getting cut down so much damage. Hylissang looking for more, and that's going to be it. One final fight, but there is nothing left for Misfits. There is no team. There is no organization. There is no Nexus, playoffs, or Worlds. And for the 10th time in their history, Fnatic will lock Worlds and knock Misfits out of the playoffs and the LEC.
A final goodbye to Misfits and a hello to Fnatic, who will be joining us at the World Championship this year alongside G2, alongside Rogue, and alongside Mad. It's yet to be decided what seed they will be, but they sure as hell will be there.
Fnatic looked good today. You can see the elation on Yamato's face. Fnatic will be returning to the World Championship. Last year was a struggle for them. They couldn't field their full roster and they couldn't show their full potential. They will be given another opportunity, but of course the rest of the LEC playoffs still lies ahead of them. Many strong foes with Mad, Rogue and G2 all waiting to fight this team who've come into this week looking strong.
And it was Fnatic who made that lower bracket run last year all the way to the finals. Can they do it again is the big question. Yes, they've locked Worlds, but like Vedius said, the LEC playoffs still yet to play for.
Malma potentially in front of them if they can take down Mad, knocking Mad into the play-ins if they win that one, keeping hope alive to make it straight to the group stage. An incredibly dominant performance from Fnatic. One of the things that makes this team and this organization so terrifying is how they ramp up across these best-of-5 series. It is their day. A well-earned 3-0.
And congratulations once again to Fnatic. They will be Europe's 4th representative at the World Championship. And of course, commiserations to Misfits. What an incredible story for these players this year. Being able to usurp expectations multiple times. Being able to create surprises, incredible performances. And I hope we see a lot of the players back next year because we know they have the talent. We know they're more than capable. And this man on your screen, he had an incredible playoffs run against G2 in particular. But you know that Misfits, they've done a great job of nurturing great talent, and I expect more great talent to come in the future.
Berlin, give it up for Misfits.
It is Fnatic's day, but it is Misfits' time in the LEC that has come to an end. Hard fought, a difficult day, a difficult way to end things.
A lot of emotions.
Certainly. Kia player of the series. Hold that thought. Move to stage. Final bow. One more time, Berlin. For the Misfits.
I said, what an incredible story for Misfits throughout the year, and the organization has left a very meaningful impact here in the LEC. So thank you so much, everything, Misfits, of course. Today was not your day, but you've left Europe with a lot of very powerful memories, and we're excited to see what you do in the future.
Definitely are. But today's Fnatic's day.
Sure.
Can't take that away from them at all. Locked Worlds, still in playoffs, up against Mad on Sunday. Can they make the lower bracket run again?
And they look strong right now.
And they look really strong.
Absolutely do. You saw the Kia player of the games. You guys can vote on Twitter. In the meantime, let's head over to the victorious top side of Fnatic, Wunder and Razork.
Wow. Guys, welcome to the World Championship. Congrats on taking down Misfits today. This was very Fnatic focused when it comes to the audience. What did you think of the support from the fans today, Razork?
We love them.
Wunder, there has to be something about you and being dove on the top lane. It happens so many times, every time you get it. I don't know how you keep on staying alive in these circumstances. Tell me what goes through your head when it happens, because it happens so often. Hi.
Hello, Sjokz.
Hi, Sjokz.
As long as, we get something on the other side very often, right? In these kind of games, we already knew that it was coming, and I just made the call that I could be fine by myself. But we were really strong, we got so much on the other side already. So my mindset is basically, well, if I feel like I can do it, I'll just go and defend, right? But we were already so far ahead. They were kind of desperate in the way they played. So yeah, the game was very won. At that point already, we were so far ahead. We managed to throw a little bit, but the game should be won. So I was very calm, I guess.
Going 3-0 today, and given how the games went for you guys, does this go to the expectations you had coming in today?
I don't go in underestimating how Misfits could turn out. I thought they were the weaker team in playoffs, for sure, and I thought Excel was way harder matchup for us. But of course, they took one game off G2, and if they had a really good week of scrims where they figured a lot of things out, they could be a strong opponent, right? So of course you don't really know too much about the teams you play against, how they prepared, and what kind of momentum they go into the series with. So yeah, I didn't underestimate them at all, but it's one of the easier road to Worlds, I guess. We have 4 spots now, but it's one of the easier Worlds qualifications that I've had to play. So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
This goes to the confidence that I've seen from the Fnatic players the past few weeks. And Razork, if I may say, your performance has been stellar for the past few weeks. You've been playing so well. You had so much responsibilities for the team. Tell me about your success and your improvements for the past few weeks. And a couple words on Poppy, maybe.
I mean, I think I didn't do anything special. I feel like we all play better as a team right now, and we trust each other more. So it's easier to actually know what we are doing all the time. And I think as a jungle position, if you have the confidence to lead the team, I feel like everything happens smoother. And I think we are in a situation that we improved a lot. And you can see it in this type of games that I feel pretty confident. And I mean, things are going our way.
You got the player of the series today, unsurprisingly, right? And Wunder.
Playing Trundle and Poppy.
I mean, we take some. Wunder, what can you say about your jungler's performance and improvements? He was saying there's nothing specific to his improvements, but maybe you have something to add on that.
No, I mean, we had a really rough regular split, right? And he has been working really hard to, get better, right? And focus and work on like a lot of things that we had issues with both as a team and like individual play, of course. So yeah, I mean, you can really see it, and especially right now in the series we're playing, he's kind of, I guess, like out-jungled both junglers we've played against so far, and also in practice, a lot is, like, it's way smoother, as you said, to play the game, and yeah, I mean, jungle is really OP, right? So if you have a good jungler, then I mean,
I agree.
You're kind of set.
Perfectly in sync then. Razork, this is going to be your first World Championship. What are you excited about when you think about this new challenge? You were thinking about new competition in the jungle, maybe.
I mean, I'm excited about everything, but I think playing against the Asian teams is the thing that excites me the most. I feel like I never played against any Asian team, so, and also going to Mexico or NA is like really nice. So yeah, I'm really happy we actually made the Worlds.
It would be a nice challenge for sure. And Wunder, you're coming back to the World Championship after missing out last year. What is this one going to be about for you?
Well, I mean, everything that Ivan said, right? Like playing against the Eastern players is that's always like the main motivation. And yeah, I mean, basically, it's not been the best year for us so far, but kind of everything is like made at Worlds. Like you can either redeem an entire year of kind of bad play if you make it to Worlds and you get good results for your region, right? So, I mean, just looking forward to getting there, getting really good practice against some of the best players in the world, and yeah, hopefully show up, and then we can kind of redeem what kind of year we have had so far and make it better. Competition
is about ramping up, right, and showing up when it matters. But before we think about Worlds, you have one last step, in the sense that you want to get to Malmö, so facing the Mad Lions on Sunday. Anything you can tell me about this matchup and maybe the Spanish opposition in the jungle?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mad Lions is actually a really strong team. I think Elioya is my friend, but I actually think that he is probably the best jungler in the league right now. And I actually respect him a lot. But I think I'm in a really good shape right now, so I'm going to give him some troubles.
Well, looking forward to seeing that. Razork, thank you so much for the interview. Wunder, thank you also for the interview. Guys, welcome again to the World Championship. It won't going to take a short break now. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the post-game lobby with Sjokz, Upset, and Yamato. Don't you guys go anywhere.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.